The Doggy Stone Show.
Right, people. As you know, I do the country show, and I've been promoting UK bands, and one person in particular I've managed to track down. I've got her on the show. She's extremely busy, but it's Chloe Chadwick. Hello, Chloe.
Hello, how are we doing?
Brilliant, and really appreciate you coming on the show.
Oh, thank you.
Because I know you're busy. I know you're busy doing all the stuff you're doing. It's crazy. And what to start off talking to you about, because obviously I do business show and my podcast is about business.
Yeah.
And obviously you're a country singer, but you've just taken a decision, haven't you? And what was that decision you've just taken recently?
Yeah, I've taken the plunge, I suppose, and just taken the gamble on my passion really, and decided to kind of quit the white collar industry, a successful career I had to pursue my dream, which some would probably say is a gamble. It's a tough decision, but I suppose you don't get anywhere in life, do you, without taking a gamble?
Yeah, I get that, and people will say get a proper job, don't they? And it comes up time and time again. I mean, when I first started my business back in 2010, just at the back of the worst recession we've had for eons, I had people saying to me, "Why don't you get a proper job? And you're not bothered that you're doing contract work, and you've only got a 3-month contract." And I said, "Well, when I had a proper job, I was on 3 months' notice, so it's only the same as that."
Yeah.
And yeah, you could say you're taking a risk, but we're only here once, and if it's something you're passionate about and something you want to do, and you're good at it, and you clearly are good at it, then well, why not do it? It doesn't make it's not. What's the worst thing that can happen is you go back to do what you was doing before, but I don't think you will anyway.
Well, fingers crossed. I mean, that's what I'm in for, and I think with the music business being so vast nowadays and changing every minute of every day, it's hard to keep up with full time, let alone going at it part time. And so hence for my decision really, because I feel as though although yes, I understand that you need your financials behind you, you need to pay your bills, you need a roof under your head, and to do that you have to have a steady income. But at the same time, if your passion's not in that, then in my eyes, you're taking a risk in whatever jobs that you go into, because you haven't got the security as what you used to do. No one's really got. I'm not saying no one, but there's various kind of public sector careers that you go into where you haven't got that stability yourself anymore. You don't know whether you're going to be laid off from one week to the next. So I think doing what I'm doing is exactly the same as what I was doing before. Yes, I know I've got to start from the bottom and work my way up, and finances come with actually putting your business head on. But I think it's just the same as working for a company, but except for you working for yourself, you're throwing your heart and soul into what you want to do and not reap the profits of somebody else.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And there's one thing I picked up on. Yeah, and you're totally right. And one thing I picked up on there, and it's something that I did. I was doing. When I left corporate world, I was doing what I was really good at in the corporate world, and that was helping businesses and improving what they did. I can do it. I can do it standing on my head. I can go into any business and improve it. I know I can, and but I took the decision in December last year when I had a contract for 4.5 years with a business, and decided not to replace it. And reason being is to focus or do the things that I wanted to do and I was passionate about. That contract was not affording me the time to do it. So it's a bit of a chicken and egg, and what do you do first? Do you give away the money, the revenue you're earning from that? You can't do one. You've got to do something's got to give, hasn't it? So that's why I do my radio show, I do my Facebook lives, I do my mentoring, I do my public speaking. I couldn't do that if it was contracting 2, 3, 4, 5 days a week. So, but what's happened? It's afforded me to move forward with that quicker than it'd take me a lot longer to do it if I was still working contract.
Yeah, but I think sometimes as well is for me, being in the industry for as long as I have, I mean, I've been performing since I was 18, I didn't have the backing, the management, the record label to guide me and help me nurture my knowledge of the music industry. It's taken me a long time to pick that up myself.
Yeah.
So I think I don't have any regrets doing what I've done, because everything that I've done has led me up to this point. I've worked in sales, I've worked in business development, and that has now given me the knowledge to put to my own business.
Yeah.
If you want to make it nowadays, especially as an independent artist, you can't just sing and expect people to come to your gigs. You've got to be able to market yourself.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to promote yourself. You've got to have a business head. You've got to, look at your statistics and analytics of your website to see of your traffic coming through and how you can improve. There's so much. There's so much that you have to do to move forwards.
Yeah.
And until you get the grasp of doing that, it's kind of, I just feel as though I've got to the point now where something's clicked and I know what I need to do, which is quite exciting, I suppose. I mean, whether I do, become very successful from it, I would love to think I would, but you don't know until you try. And I just feel as though the foundations are now in place. I've got a path. I've got a vision of what I want to do, and hopefully now it's just putting all the plans in place to really push this forwards. And I've now got the full time and the commitment to be able to do that, whereas I didn't before.
Brilliant. Yeah, and you're right. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll talk about your album in a minute, and because you've just released an album. I bought it the first day I heard it. It's called Bowl Juke Box, and I'm going to play a track now for the people. So I'll tell you what. Should we play the first track, Love Will Find a Way?
Yeah, that'd be great.
So let's listen to that now. So here you go, people. So because obviously then you'll understand what she's talking about and how blooming brilliant she is. So here we go. This is Love Will Find a Way, Chloe Chadwick, Bowl Juke Box.
Love can be wonderful, physical, magical. Love can be spiritual, overcoming obstacles. Love can be possible, sometimes impossible for everyone. Have you had a memory that slips out of your eye, rolls down your cheek, and you find yourself asking why? So hard, 'cause you gave it all to her. You still believe in love, even when all the hope is gone, and you can't carry on. You're hanging on by a thread. Do you still believe in love? Love is sometimes difficult.
great album. We're going to play another couple of tracks throughout the interview, so which is wonderful, isn't it? It's great to be able to do that. But yeah, I think what you're talking about before that track was, you've got a good chance of doing it. The music industry is a very competitive market, like a lot of industries, and you've got to stand out in some way, and you've got to, like you said before, you've got to have your marketing right, your website's got your image has got to be right. Because people all just go no good, because there's record companies, and they're getting thousands and thousands of albums and not going on through the door every day, and the first thing they see is probably the cover of the album. They go no good. They're not even listening to the music.
It can be anything. It can be anything, can't it? And I kind of feel sorry for the youngsters coming through, especially those who maybe haven't been born and bred into money. I feel sorry for them because again, it's a much more competitive industry now, and record labels aren't as accommodating to artists as they used to be. You've now got to go to a record label with a full product, with a million views on YouTube, with the best videos out there, and a lot of investment already spent on you before a record label will even look at you. And so hence why I just feel as though a lot of doors are closing on young acts who are trying to win that record label without the knowledge and the years of experience that you have to go through. Of course, there are avenues, and there's luck comes down to a lot of it as well, being in the right place at the right time. Yeah. And I think sometimes it's about your location as well, it's where you're from. I feel as though it's quite a hard bag for me living in Newcastle, because a lot of stuff happens in London, and it's kind of missing out. But of course, once again, now I'm doing this full time, I've also got to think about, is that gig going to be worth it for me? What am I going to get out of it? How can I move forward? So I can't just take any gig nowadays either. But yeah, it's a competitive industry, but it's one that is a challenging industry as well. And I think, like you said, you hit the nail on the head, where you've got to try and stand out of the crowd. And you can do that in numerous ways through social media and whatnot. And it's just a case of just finding something that works for you and rolling with it.
Yeah.
Of course, the music speaks volumes as well. If you've got good songs,
yes,
it's a massive starting point.
Yeah, for sure. You've got to have the basic talent. It's like anyone. I try to encourage dyslexics to become business owners because they're perfect for it. But anybody to do something they're passionate about, something they want to do. But you've got to have a realization that if you're talking to a young lad and he says, "I want to be a footballer, I'm going to be Ronaldo." Listen, mate, not everyone's going to be Ronaldo. You've got to have the basic skills, and you've got to have the abilities to do that. Same as a country singer or a rock singer. You've got to have some ability in the first place. You're just not going to have the passion for it. You've got to have a skill and roll with it and really push it, and you've really got to go for it. And I think you're right about the not taking the gigs on. Someone wanted me to go, because I do a lot of networking. I do Facebook Live at Expo, and someone sent me a message the other week saying, "Oh, we've got this massive expo. It's in Edinburgh. It's this, that, and the other. It's sponsored by Google. It's this. That's going to be a great event. I'm going to ring you in a bit, see if you want to come." And I sent him one back saying, "I'd love to come. These are my rates. I'll come and work for you for the day." Never rung me.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean? So what would we spend? Because it'd take me 2 days. We've got to go to Edinburgh and back, so it's a night out, isn't it? So that'd be 2 days hotel. So I've lost 2 days that I could be doing something else for what? For someone else's benefit. Don't think so, mate. I think
you've got to find that balance, haven't you? I mean, of course you're gonna end up doing gigs and making mistakes. That as a human being, everybody makes mistakes. And sometimes you think a gig's going to be a mistake, and it ends up, you end up getting loads from it. So sometimes it's just trial and error. But I think as a serious musician, that does come into play. And if you're serious in any, like you say for yourself, being offered to go up there and do exhibitions and stuff, it's true. I don't think anyone works for free anymore, which is a shame, because there used to be loads of support and everyone helping each other out. And I'm not saying people don't do that anymore, but I think as a whole, even the business side of people has become a lot more greedy and competitive. Out there's a lot of sharks out there as well, especially on kind of social media marketing sites.
Yeah,
you've got to be very careful who you go with. I think you've just got to do your research and choose wisely, and just make sure that if you're not going to get payment out of it, are you going to get some sort of exposure, or are you going to move your business forward out of it?
Yeah. Yeah,
more than anything.
yeah, definitely. Because it is a business, is an industry. I mean, everything is a business and an industry. And people probably think it isn't. Take sport. Everything is a business. I know a 2-medal winning coach, Olympic winning coach, and I think back in 2012, 2013, because they didn't think that is sport would win any medals. They didn't sack him. They said, "We're pulling the plug. There's no more funding. You're out of a job. See ya." And he's got 2 goal-winning bloody Olympic medals, and it's all the same. It's cut and thrust. And you're right. You have got to be very, very careful who you deal with. People get sold. Have got a dream and a passion, like you say. Some of the younger people coming along might be a bit naive and could get ripped off. And I think it's good to listen to people like yourselves who's actually been there and gone through it. And it takes time. It does take time. A lot of people.
Of course, it does.
A lot of people think it's instant. They think, "Oh, I can sing and I'm brilliant and I've done a couple of I'm going to be a megastar like tomorrow. I'm just going to release this track, and everyone's going to download it because I'm blooming brilliant." But it doesn't work like that, does it? There's that much stuff going out. It's crazy.
It is, and I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. The fact that now making music, recording music, is so accessible to anybody. It doesn't matter how good you are. If you Kirk, could record a song in your room and put it out on iTunes, and anyone can do that, and it does saturate the industry a lot, and it makes it a lot tougher for artists to try and stand out the crowd when so many people want to be a singer nowadays. And of course, that's resulted in the likes of your X Factor that's been happening for 15 years now, The Voice that's come on, and although it's a platform. And it is a positive platform to try and get your music out there and to gain some exposure. But at the same time, it's like anything; it comes with its negatives as well. And people can just go out there, record a song, and put it out there, and could be brilliant at marketing themselves, but the music's not there. So it's got its positives and negatives. The whole kind of internet and social media thing. You just got to try and use it to your advantage as much as you can, and just try and, like you say, stand out the crowd and think where you need to be. More than anything, but it's getting tougher and tougher, definitely.
Yeah, because you're right that you've just mentioned the two big shows. Really, I've stopped watching the X Factor, but I really like The Voice. I think The Voice is an amazing show. I think it's very entertaining, but what I found in the last one that was on, there was some singers, and you listen to them, think this singer is absolutely brilliant, and no one turns from. They were absolutely amazing singers. Some of the singers they turned down, you think, God, if that's the level to get onto that show and for the judges to turn around, that is tough, really tough.
Yeah.
It's really tough. Right, I'll tell you what, it's time for another track. So from the album, what's your favourite track on the album, on your Bowl Juke Box album?
Oh, gosh, I've got a couple, but I think the one that probably has a lot of memories and kind of in my career and helped me to move forwards was a track called Big River, which I actually had the great opportunity to go over to America in LA and record with a producer called Chris Garcia, he's worked with the likes of Leona Lewis, Ronan Keating, Dido, Demi Lovato, Santana, and I actually went into his house and recorded and met his family. It was just a brilliant week over in LA, and so it's got some real nice memories for me, that song. So yeah, I would love you to play Big River.
Oh, lovely. We'll play that then. Yeah, I like every track on this, but yeah, that's nice as well. So yeah, we'll play this Big River just for you.
It's in the way that you hold me and how much you care. You share your emotions like lovers' first glare, and you sparkle and shine like champagne surprise. You carry like my favorite love song through this river of dreams. it's so high, you can do nothing wrong. With each passing day, you can sail, make a wave, and we'll dance under the moon and the stars lead us the way. So please don't stop here. So big river running straight through my heart. Running straight through my heart. River, letting your love flow for miles and miles. Big river running straight through my heart. Running straight through my big river, letting your love flow for miles and miles. I hope we never part since the very start. It's been you, it's always been there. You've always cared for me. So big river, I'm sailing our love down the line. Big river running straight through my heart. Big river running straight through my heart. Running straight through my big river running straight through my heart. Big river running straight through my heart. Running straight through my river, running straight through
Right, yeah,
my
great track, and it's, what's good as well, talking to yourself like an artist. When you hear when we all hear these certain songs, I mean, I listen to songs and I like them, and takes me back to a place or whatever, you know, years later. But it's always good to find out there's a story behind the artist's song that they're singing, and it means something to you. Not just produce the big river. I'm going to talk about the big river, and that will come out in the song as well, because you've got a link to it. And I think it's great. Thanks for sharing that with us. It's
No, it's not a problem. I think it's good as a songwriter to make sure that you have got some meaning behind your songs. I think we're all wanting to sit and write that number one hit, you know, that song that's really going to make you. And sometimes that song is literally about going out on a Friday night and getting drunk, you know.
yeah.
But I think that's the difference. I like to think that's where my niche is as an artist in the country scene. Is I do like to write about real life things that I've been through, experiences I've been through, and sometimes they can be quite personal as well. But it's like you say, I think people, people have got to feel what you've written and what you were going through when you wrote that song, and I think that's what resonates the most in a country song. So yeah, that's the way I like to move things forward with my songwriting, is to just try and be real, write about real life experiences I've done, whether they're good or bad. It doesn't matter as long as it kind of hits people, you know.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And I've always liked music, and I think I've got a wide taste in music, and from reggae to punk rock to country. I mean, country, I never used to. I stumbled across country in 2012 when I was in Canada with my auntie and uncle who listened to my show every week, and they had it on constantly at a Canadian radio station all the time. And since 2012, I've virtually listened to that radio station every day.
Brilliant.
And that's how I've got into country. And then so when I was doing my shows, I was like, I want to do a music show and I'm going to do it at country, because actually I know a little bit about it now, because I've been listening to these artists for years and I know what they're all about. But it's just like we was talking about before. It's so I'm now talking about doing my show going out to Australia on an Australia station. So I'm like, I wonder if there's any Australian country singers. Oh my goodness. It's
God, yeah.
I've like opened Pandora's box. I mean, I've got a playlist now on my Spotify going, that's good, that's good, that's good. And you think, oh my, someone said to me the other day, had a guy around the other day. He goes by the name of Red Strokes. He's Terry Morgan, and he says once you get into country, it sucks you straight in. He said there's no getting out of it. I just love it. It's great. And on that subject, and when this goes out, we'll have already been. But I'm going to. It wasn't even planned up to a few weeks ago, but I'm going to the UK Radio Country Awards Saturday night, and you'll be there too, won't you?
Yes, I will. I will indeed. I'm actually up for a couple of awards, which I'm so thrilled about. So thrilled to be up for a couple of awards this year. I'm up for Best UK Country Act and Best Female UK Country Singer.
So yeah, I mean, I'm looking at some of the categories there, and I know three of you, Penny Jane Black and Lily Garland, and I wouldn't even know who I like you all. Do you know what I mean? That is, if you don't win, I wouldn't be disappointed, and you've got every chance of winning, because those three individuals I'm just talking about there, you're all phenomenal in your own way. You've all got your own sound, your own way. I would struggle to say who would win that category. You know what I mean? It's like say even that UK award is tough, because if whoever comes away with that has done blooming well, because you're all at the top of your game, and I look at the individuals there and go, you've all got the capabilities and the music and the voices to make it big, and it's just getting through that ceiling, really. It's stopping you at the minute. Yeah,
it is, and it's following in the footsteps of the likes of the Shies and Ward Thomas, you know, who've done ever so well. But who's next? You know, who's going to break through that gap? Because you can't just have the Shies and Ward Thomas and then nothing else really happens, because there's some really good acts coming through. You know, at the minute, I think Holloway Road are doing very well at the minute.
Yeah.
You know, Laura Oakes is doing really well at the minute. You've got Jess and the Bandits who do really well, and you've also got your likes of your Gary Quinns, you know, who's a brilliant kind of country singer. I love his voice, but they always seem to stay where they are every year. It's you know, they don't seem to move forwards, and I kind of scratch my head and think, well, why is there not enough? Is there not enough kind of investment happening? Are the record labels not really still interested in country music yet?
Yeah.
Is it not kind of there yet? Honestly, I don't know. I suppose I'll find out for myself the more I keep pushing and pushing.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's not going to be a brick wall that I hit, you know.
I think it goes back. Yeah, I think it goes back to what you said before. I listen to some stations, and it's the usual suspects, the American and the Canadian singers. It's the usual suspects. Oh, this is the latest one from Zach Brown Band. This is the latest one from Tim McGrath, because they're mega stars. They've got that. So they're easy to play, aren't they? People are going to tune in. People are going to listen, and that's why on my show, I want to play guys. I want to mix it with people that are really already made it and out there, and people that are really good at should be out there and it's bringing it to an audience. And I can do that because I'm not. Do you know what I mean? I'm doing it because I'm doing it. I've not got anyone at the back saying, "Oh, we need 3,000 listeners on that show or 10,000 listeners on that show." And, oh shit, you can't play that because that'll give you less listeners, and you want you have to put this in, and you know we're getting sponsored by them. So it's very. You get to the point where other things are guiding you from your passion, and I hope that doesn't.
Yeah, I understand.
I don't want that to happen to me, and that's why I want to talk to people like you. Want to play your music and other people's music, because it needs to be out there, and hopefully it introduces it to other people in the country scene and in the UK, and people that are listening across the, you know, when they listen to other podcasts as well.
Yeah.
So we'll know. We'll know in a few weeks what's happened, or at the end of the weekend, and I'll probably say something on here. I'm hoping you're going to win something, and I can.
I know. Well, fingers crossed.
And I can add it.
If not, it's just great to be involved. You know, great to be around everyone else and having a chat and a bit of a party and a few drinks and having a bit of fun. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and I think you've got to take from the positive that it's all about it's experience, or the experience of doing it, the exposure it's doing. It's all building a good foundation for you to carry on. I think that's really good. It's good to do anyway. So I think we're going to play another song now. There's two songs that I really love on the album. One's A Stranger's World and one's Summertime Love. And I think I'm going to play A Stranger's World. It's got a really great beat to it because we're in a stranger's world, aren't we?
We certainly are. Yeah.
So here we go. A Stranger's World, Chloe Chadwick, obviously, and Dust Bowl Juke Box.
Days are never gone and things stay the same. Kids, they live their childhood in poverty and pain. Skin is cold as a stone. Help them find their way home. 'Cause some things are never simple, things are never straight. The walk of life is easy when you're going the wrong way. And sometimes you just wish that God gave us a simple plan. Save your plans for the one-man band. Look, tell us things ain't gonna be a stranger's world. It's a stranger's world. 'Cause the stranger's gone and took away all the sweet songs you ever played to us. Dark days are rolling on and time passes by. There used to be such honesty and passion in our eyes. Those days are buried and gone deep beneath the long lost ones. Because daddy's gone and turned to drink and mother's life is on the brink. A stranger's world. It's a stranger's world. 'Cause the stranger's gone and took away the favorite songs you always played. A stranger's world. It's a stranger's world. Someone give us the strength to carry on and give us light to find our way home. You said you'd never leave her, but you turned to drink and beat her. She swore she'd be your mother, but she shrugged you off her shoulders. Wait, don't carry on, don't carry It's a stranger's world. It's a stranger's world. 'Cause strangers gone and took away all the sweet songs we ever played. A stranger's world. It's a stranger's world. Lord, give us the strength to carry on and give us light to find our way home.
As well as doing the awards and your album and all the other stuff that you're doing, you obviously need to get out there on the road, because I think live, when you see someone live, it's a totally different experience than listening to on the CD or the iTunes or whatever you're listening to. So what's your plans for touring?
Yeah, I've got a few things kind of coming up in the pipeline. Whitby have got a country festival on September the 9th. It's the first time I'm playing there, so that should be good. Plus, it's kind of local, so I'm there on September the 9th. I'm there in the daytime because I'm actually performing at the Clooney on the evening on September the 9th,
Right.
as part of Musicians Against Homelessness. which I'm trying to do more of, really, kind of these charity events that I think are for a great cause. You know, they're trying to raise awareness. I think homelessness needs to be raised as a point people need to start talking about. It is a big issue in the UK, let alone Tyne and Wear. So I'm performing there to help raise awareness on the 9th at the Clooney. September the 13th, I'm at the Sage. I'm supporting Jess and the Bandits, which will be a fantastic gig. So if you haven't got your tickets, make sure you get your tickets there. September the 15th, I am Nashville Live by the Sea, organised by the lovely Stephen Weirs, who's a huge country music fan and promoter. He's getting us an Outlander and a couple more bands that are playing down there on September the 15th. It's at Saltburn by the Sea. Gosh, there's loads more. I'm down in London doing Bluebird sessions with Think Country. I think Steve O'Hanlon's on. There's a few other acts booked for that, so that should be great. That's happening on October the 22nd. But if you want to hear any more gigs, I'm booking stuff all the time. Just get yourself on chloechadwick.com /tour.
Brilliant. Yeah, when I play your tracks, which I do often, I normally say where you're playing, and so I normally announce them. So that's good. And people need to go and support you. I urge people to go and listen to the rest of the album, Bowl Juke Box, and even if you just buy one track, it'll help Chloe on her journey, which I think we need to. We need to support people who've got something about them. And what's it cost? Costs next to nothing for a track, and for the whole album's next to now as well. So I just downloaded this that day. I think it's great.
Oh, well, thank
really
you.
Good, really
if
good.
If anyone does want to buy the album, you can get it on. If you prefer a hard copy like I do, I'm signing albums and sending them straight to your door. What kind of service is that? So you can get the album on chloechadwick.com /store. And if you want to have a listen first as well, I'm on Spotify. If any listeners are on Spotify, get yourself on there and look up Chloe Chadwick.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think I was only going to play about 3 tracks, but I think we'll end the show with Summertime Loving, because we're still in a bit of summertime. Hey, what's the story behind that? Is there a story behind it, Chloe, before I play it? If you can share it, if you can't, don't. It's up to you.
Yeah, of course I can. Summertime Loving, when I'd mentioned that I do heartfelt songs, and there was there's certain songs that you want to write to try and create a number 1 hit. Well, this was one I wanted to write to create a number 1 hit. It's basically about, when you leave school or you go to college, or you go away for college. When I was younger, you get up to all sorts, you go out with lads, have a good time. The summer's kind of here, and then the summer's over. But you don't want it to end, and you spend that last night in the bar drinking as much as you can, because the next day you've got to go back to college. So it's literally just loving in the summertime, having that one true love over the summer and having the best time ever, and just enjoying it and celebrating the good times.
I absolutely love that, and I love this track, and that's just that's going to do it for me now. So I really appreciate you coming on. I know you're extremely busy. I know you've got lots of stuff going on. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thanks for sharing it with us. Thanks for spending the time with us. And I'm going to finish off with Summertime Loving by Chloe Chadwick. So thank you very much for the time today, and all the best of luck.
Thank you very much, Kirk. Look forward to meeting you tomorrow.
Cheers. Thank you.
Take care.
Summertime loving screams my name. There's never no time for the blues. It's all about you. I hope we'll see this through, 'cause there ain't no tears filling up my boots. Mountain peak, let her head down, summer dresses all loud as we dance through the night in the summertime breeze. So hey, fiddle, keep playing your riddle, it's a chance for the Summertime loving is familiar.